Hello and welcome to or welcome back to my channel. My name is Marin and here you will find a little beauty, a little books, and a little teaching content. So if that sounds like something you might enjoy, I would love for you to subscribe and stick around and join me in my little corner of YouTube. As you can see from the wheel behind me, it is time for another round of my Wheel of TBR, this time choosing the books I'm going to read in the month of February. So let's go ahead and get into it. Before I get started, I will go ahead and link you to January's Wheel of TBR up in the cards because that will go over my rules and how I personally play the game because I do not play it like a lot of other people who do Wheel of TBR games. So do check that out if you are curious about the specifics. I'm going to go ahead and start off by recapping how I have done so far in the month of January. I am not quite to the end of the month yet. I'm filming this slightly early, so I do have about 5 days left. So let me chat about how I've done so far. So my first spin gave me Object on the Cover. For that, I chose Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard, which I did read. Then I landed on the same exact spot, so I had to forfeit that prompt for a random pick. I did not have my TBR jar done at that point, so I used the randomize function on Goodreads, and I got Fighting on the Homefront by Kate Adie, which I am currently listening to on audio. I have about an hour left, so that will get done. The next spin landed on historical. For that, I chose The Name of the Star by Maureen Johnson, which I did read. This turned out to not actually be a historical at all, but I'm still counting it because I thought it was historical and I did read it, so I'm checking that one off. The next spin landed on Mount TBR, which is a challenge that I take part in over on Goodreads, where you need to read books from your physical shelf. For that, I chose People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry, which I have not read yet. I do have the audio in from my library though, so I will be starting this once I finish Fighting on the Homefront. This may not get done by the end of the month, but it'll be close. And then the final spin landed on Treat Your Shelf. For that, I picked up a new release, which is A Fragile Enchantment by Allison Saft. This is just the dust jacket. I am currently reading this. This should get done by the end of the month. So I'm gonna go ahead and call my TBR complete, even though I have not read everything yet. So you can stay tuned for my reading recap for January, where I will go over everything I have read so you can see if I actually get all of these done. Okay, I've gone ahead and scooted you closer so we can go ahead and do my spins. As usual, I will be doing 5 spins for the month of February, so let's go ahead with spin number 1. Okay, this is like a continuation from last month or something because I just landed on TBR jar. The jar is done, so I'm gonna go ahead, shake it up. I will pick a prompt from here and we will see which random book I will be reading in February. Doesn't really fit with my reading plans, but that's okay. Okay, we're gonna go with this one. So this one is Fairy Tales Every Child Should Know. I'll put the cover here. I own a copy of this somewhere, but I don't know where it is. So let me make sure I can get this from my library. If I can't, I'm gonna pick a different one. So let me check that really quickly. Okay, it does look like it's available at one singular library, so I'm gonna go ahead and put it on the TBR. If it turns out I can't actually read it, I will just pick something else during the month, and I will let you know about it in next month's Wheel of TBR. So the first pick is Fairy Tales Every Child Should Know. It's written by Hamilton Wright Mabel, and we'll see if I actually can read it. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead, shake up the rest of my prompts. We'll pick one to replace TBR jar. So I'll go with this one, which is Building on the Cover. And now we'll do spin number 2. Okay, so this one is alliteration, which means it needs to have alliteration in the title. That might take a little bit of looking around for. So let me see what I can find for this prompt. Okay, alliteration gave me some trouble, but I realized one of the books on my series TBR for 2024 does have alliteration, and that is A Mirror Mended by Alex E. Harrow. This is a little duology of like some sapphic fairy tale retellings, so I'm looking forward to finishing this series off. I didn't love the first one, but they're quick reads, so I'm gonna go ahead and knock that out in February. Okay, I'm gonna replace alliteration with this one. Oh, which is a Hey Reader prompt. Hey Reader's like a website where it just randomly gives you a prompt. So that will be this one. All right, spin number 3. Okay. Mystery. Definitely can find something for that. Let me see which one I want to pick. I was waffling a bit about mystery because I do have quite a few mystery books on my TBR. It is a genre that I quite enjoy, but I just picked this book up from the library and I'm not going to be able to get to it in January. So I'm going to put Mother-Daughter Murder Night by Nina Simon on this list. I believe it is a mystery. It's a murder mystery, I believe. It says it's a fun, fresh, twisty whodunit about a grandmother, mother-daughter trio who come together as amateur sleuths to solve a murder in their coastal California town. So it sounds like a good time, and this is the one I'm gonna go with. Okay, we're gonna replace mystery with a witchy book. And now we'll do spin number 4. Okay, this one is purchased in 2022. I know exactly what I'm going to pick for this. Give me just a second to grab it. Okay, so for purchased in 2022, I am going to go with Love on the Brain by Allie Hazelwood. This is on my 24 in 2024, and it is my buzzword pick for February. The buzzword is like positive words, so I'm going with the word love. This is perfect. I needed to read this. I'm glad it fit on this TBR. Okay, I'm gonna replace purchased in 2022 with, oh, that's 2 of them. This one, which is new release. And now we are doing spin number 5. Okay, and this one is 5W. So who, what, when, where, why. I need to find a book with one of those words in the title. Let me see what I want to pick. Okay, 5Ws took me a minute until I really looked at the books on my 24 and 2024 and realized one of them, actually 2 of them, have W words in them. The one I'm going to go with is Clap When You Land by Elizabeth Acevedo. This is a YA book written in verse. I have liked both of the other YA books I've read by her, so I'm looking forward to reading this one. Hopefully I will love it, and it should be a pretty quick read, which is good since February is a little bit of a shorter month. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and replace 5Ws just so I have the wheel ready for next month, and I will go with multi-POV. Okay, so now it's time to talk about some of the other books that I need to read during the month. This one did not quite go the way I was hoping it would go. It started off with another TBR jar pick. I really could have done without that, but it is what it is. I still have 2 books from January that I have given myself 2 months to read to finish because I haven't started either one. So the first one was The Ethnic Cleansing of Palestine by Ilan Pappé. This is my nonfiction pick for January and February. And then I also still need to read Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. Again, it's my classic pick for January and February. So I'm gonna need to read these in February because I have not gotten to them in January. Also, I have started some new vlog series on my channel where I am going to be doing a TBR jar read or vlog where I will choose a book from the TBR jar to read at some point during the month, and I will vlog myself reading that. And then I'm also doing my own version of an Unwrap It type series where I have wrapped up all of the books that I purchased in 2023. I'm gonna select one, unwrap it for a vlog, and read it in that vlog. That is completely inspired by Megan over at Meg with Books. I was trying to do one in January, but it just didn't work out. I did read an unwrapped book, but I didn't vlog it, so we're gonna do the first one in February. So that's 2 additional books that I'm adding to this TBR. So I'm at a bit of a hefty stack, so let's just kind of chat about them just to do a little recap. Okay, so for TBR jar, I will be reading Fairy Tales Every Child Should Know, assuming that I can actually get a copy of that in at the library. Otherwise, I will choose something else. For alliteration, I'm doing A Mirror Mended by Alex E. Harrow. For mystery, Mother-Daughter Murder Night by Nina Simon. For purchased in 2022, Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood. And for 5Ws, Clap When You Land by Elizabeth Acevedo. I also will need to read the 26th Nancy Drew book. I can't remember what the title is. Here's the cover. I also haven't actually read the 25th one yet, so I might have to also read that one in February. And then I also have these 2 books that, again, I didn't get to in January. So, wish me luck. Hopefully I can get it all going. I have not been doing like really any physical reading, so hopefully that kicks back in February. Does make it easier to get through things when I'm not solely listening to audiobooks. So we'll just see how it goes. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to my channel if you would like to see more from me, and I will see you in my next video. Bye everyone.